Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one. Actually, no, hope you're all having a great one. I mean, why not? It's not like it costs me anything, since while we're hoping, let's upgrade to great rather than good. And welcome back to World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles. For your viewing pleasure today we have, and this is really his name, Monsieur Le Baguette, appropriately enough, in the French Tier 6 light tank, the AMX-12T, in this Tier 8 battle here on Prokhorovka. Now, even if you don't play light tanks yourself, I'm sure you've all seen plenty of light tank replays on YouTube taking place here on Prokhorovka. It is an especially good scouting map. I'm sure by now everybody is aware of the infamous bush on the western slope of the hill over there that Monsieur Le Baguette is heading for. It is an exceptionally good spotting position, and I mean, this game's been around about 15 years now, and Prokhorovka was one of the very first maps in the game, and that's kind of the issue, because that is an exceptionally well-known camping spot, which is precisely why Monsieur Le Baguette is not heading for it. Because anybody who's watched a World of Tanks video on YouTube in the last 15 years knows that that is exactly where tanks like the T-37 over there go to spot, right at the start of the battle. See, the problem with that position, it's just too good. Everybody knows about it. I mean, even to this day, you do still get people in light tanks who make good work out of the spot where the T-37 just died, because despite the fame of that spotting bush, there are still apparently people who don't know about it, just, you know, not today. Well, anyway, nothing further spotted. I think after the death of the T-37, anybody else down the southwestern end of the map on the enemy team is thinking, nope. So with everybody else on the enemy team down at the southwest presumably cowering in the bushes, Monsieur Le Baguette moves to spot the middle. And this is another excellent spotting position. And it's nowhere near as well known as the hill where the T-37 just died. But that doesn't mean nobody knows about it. The Skoda T25 on the enemy team over there, cresting the ridge. Yep, he knows he's getting spotted by something. And there it is. There are lots of great spotting positions in, well, in particular in a map like Prokhorovka, but there are good spotting positions on every map. None of them are safe, however. Just depends how many YouTube videos your opponents have watched. Or maybe they're light tank drivers themselves and they know all of your dirty, sneaky little tricks. So he's taken a hit. Luckily it was just the Skoda T25. So it was only 101 damage. Then again, the AMX-12T only starts with 650. And this is after the health of mid-tier tanks got buffed. I mean, this has never been a particularly resilient tank. In fact, it's not, I hesitate to say it's not very good, because it is a good scout. It's small, it's fast, it's very manoeuvrable, it's got excellent concealment, it's got a great radio for relaying targets to the rest of your team, but that's pretty much all it's good for, because the gun is, it's kind of bad. It's a 4-shot autoloader. It's the first auto-loading French light tank, but it's just not very good, unless you're top tier, and, well, he isn't. Look at these shots. They're not actually aimed at him. They're obviously aimed at his teammates further back, but they are coming awfully close. He could get hit by accident here. Anyway, yeah, the gun. 4-shot autoloader. Assuming every shot hits and penetrates, and to be fair, for a tier 6 75mm gun, it does have decent penetration, but even assuming all 4 shots hit and penetrate, you're only going to do 540 damage. Which is fine if you're top tier. I mean, he's a tier 6 light tank, he's got 650 health. But if you're up tiered like this in a tier 8 battle, you're not getting into fights with anything in this thing if you can possibly avoid it. Because if your opponent has more than 540 hit points, and let's face it, in a tier 8 battle pretty much everybody is going to have more than 540 hit points until the last 5 minutes of the match, you're not killing them. And if you don't have an exit strategy, well, somebody's going to get hurt real bad, and it probably isn't going to be the guy you're shooting at. Oh, would you look at that? His team are getting their asses handed to them. Well, as they say in La Belle France, quelle surprise. Except they probably say it with a slightly more convincing French accent. One thing to note, as his team are getting spanked into the middle of next week. Although Monsieur Le Baguette is racking up a bit of spotting damage here, it's all those enemy tanks in the middle and on the hill to the east who are doing all the work here, because there are still enemies lurking in the bushes down the road to the south, as was discovered the hard way by the Girls and Panzer Tiger II. A rather big and obvious target to be trying to push down that road, but it's entirely possible that the Tiger II did so because he was thinking, well, I mean, it's been 3 minutes now since the T-37 was killed. Anybody camping in the bushes down there has had nothing spotting for them and nothing to shoot at. Surely they will have moved by now. Which is a logical assumption to make, but as it turned out, 100% completely wrong. You see, professionals are predictable. If somebody actually has a clue, you can predict what they're going to do next most of the time because they're going to do the logical thing. It's the amateurs that are going to catch you out every time. Enemy team have a 3,000 hit point, 4 tank advantage. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I remember all of those guys down to the south, they've had nothing to shoot at since the Tiger II died. Maybe they're thinking, well, there hasn't been anything to shoot at in a while. Maybe we should move to support our teammates in the middle who are doing all the work. Or maybe they're thinking, well, nobody's been shooting at us, maybe there's nothing up here on the road anymore. The T-25AT is about to find out the hard way that that is not the case. And he's not the only one. Yep, the enemy team have a Hellcat, and it's quite a rare Hellcat because we're more than 5 minutes into the battle and he's not dead yet. Come on, team. Yep, Monsieur Le Baguette is going to have to take matters into his own hands here. Takes him out, and oh, who left that Tiger II there? And time to get the hell out of here. Oh, and he just made it in time with a shot whizzing right over the top of his turret. And it's not the only one. There's clearly somebody still down to the south taking pot shots at him. I'm thinking it's probably the, well, at least the Dicker Max. Possibly there's also, because there is a VK3001P on the enemy team who has not yet been spotted. I mean, I don't know what a medium tank would be doing down there, but, well, like I said, professionals are predictable. It's the amateurs you have to watch out for. Well, Monsieur Le Baguette is presumably thinking here that the team could probably use a bit of spotting up here. I mean, the entire team have been herded into this corner of the map. And after the Hellcat and the T-25AT just got comprehensively spanked, he's probably assuming that anybody down to the south along that road is in no rush to push forward and try their luck. And again, you know, this is a logical assumption to make. I mean, if you were still in the... well, most of you probably wouldn't still be in the bushes down to the south of the road with nothing to shoot at for the last 5 minutes. Oh, you can tell the enemy team are starting to get desperate here, can't you? Yep. But yeah, while most of you probably wouldn't still be down there with nothing to shoot at, you would have relocated ages ago in order to actually shoot at all of the targets up here that your teammates are busy throwing themselves away in order to spot, rather than still lurking in the bushes all the way back down there in the bottom south western end of the map where you're too far away to actually see anything that gets spotted. But let's just assume that you were. I mean, how keen would you be to push up this road after watching what just happened to the Hellcat and the T-25AT? So, yeah, it's logical to assume that nobody's going to be that brave. But assumptions based on what your opponents are going to do, based purely on logic and common sense, can get you into an awful lot of trouble in online gaming. This is a really good spot, by the way. I mean, he's double or triple bush. Nobody's going to see him shooting from here. The scores are... okay, the scores aren't even anymore. The enemy team did just go a kill ahead. But the team have equalised, even though the enemy team do still have a hit point advantage. You would think that, assuming that there is still anybody in the bushes all the way back down there to the south, now would be the perfect opportunity, while Monsieur Le Baguette's team's guns are all pointed over there, now would be a good time to push up and actually support your teammates while they're still alive. Yep, it's the Dicker Max. Well, on the plus side, it might have taken him 9 minutes to move his arse, but he is at least moving his arse. However, he's moving his arse right through all of the open ground on the hillside rather than taking advantage of the bushes that line both sides of the road, so he's dead. And yes, that was a hit from the VK3001P, who was at least smart enough to use the bushes, unlike the tank destroyer, but dumb enough to have been in that position for an entire 9 minutes with only 2 targets to shoot at. 2 kills behind with 5 minutes to go. He still has a hit point advantage because he's been hiding in the bushes at the back of the map the entire game, but watch that hit point advantage disappear very, very quickly. Oh, hang on a minute. The VK's a tier 6 heavy now, isn't it? And has been for some time, yes, I know. I'm just used to thinking of it as a medium. But it's understandable, and also I think forgivable, because the only thing that Wargaming did to turn that tier 6 medium into a tier 6 heavy was they didn't give it any more armour. No. I mean, it was a very badly armoured medium tank to begin with, but they didn't give it any more armour, they just gave it some more hit points and slowed it down. There you go. You're a heavy tank now. Well, there's just the M44 left now, and I can't see him carrying this one by himself. How did the enemy team lose this? They were so far ahead, both on kills and hit points, and map control. I'll tell you how. Clown shoes like the T25AT, the VK, the Hellcat, and the Dickermax, all camping down here after the T37 died for 9 minutes with nothing to shoot at, while the rest of the team battered themselves to death waiting for them to get their fingers out and find out where their W key was. Still, Monsieur Le Baguette isn't complaining. He's done quite well out of it. Ace tanker in a tier 6 light tank in a tier 8 battle with nearly 5,000 spotting damage. Yeah, more enemies like that next time, please. Yeah, if only we were all that lucky. Well, anyway, it was amusing to watch, and I hope you all enjoyed it, because that's it for today. Thank you to Monsieur Le Baguette for a well-earned victory, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.